We are back, ladies and gentlemen, with Game 2 of the Intel Extreme Masters Playoffs, round of 8. This is Moon, former Warcraft 3 player, legend in that scene, one of the few Warcraft 3 players to come into StarCraft 2. One of the few Warcraft 3 players to come into StarCraft 2 and have real success and be a fairly dominant player. We also have Moonglade in this tournament as well, doing very well, also making it to this round as well, and it's good to see it's interesting to see some of the former Brood War players and the former Warcraft 3 players coming into StarCraft 2 and seeing their styles and how they differ from one another, how they are adapting to StarCraft 2. It's been very fascinating to see, not just in this tournament, but in GSL as well. Moon starting off, droning up. Check out his opponent, Squirtle. Squirtle named for the Pokemon. Obviously a big Pokemon fan. I just found out yesterday from the game station that Pokemon is a professional esport. I never would have guessed that. But hey, if it's an esport, I am supportive. I actually watched a pro Pokemon player, the game station. You perhaps if you are a YouTuber and get a lot of your gaming content from YouTube, perhaps you saw the game station's post of that player whose name is escaping me at the moment. Spawning pool down for Moon, getting nice and saturated. Forge going down, so we see a Forge fast expand from Squirtle. We're going to see Squirtle wall off right here at his ramp. Forge will be finished and he will place a cannon either behind or here to finish the wall off so that he can expand freely. But Moon's Overlord here, going to see this, doesn't even have to check back here at the expansion. Because he sees the wall off, he knows that the expansion is down, and Squirtle over here going to try and delay Moon's expansion, but he's pulled the probe off, so Moon is going to have free reign and able to drop that hatchery with aplomb. But Squirtle is going to come back here, try to hide this probe, perhaps for some aggression later, but these Lings are going to find it, and it is going to go down. Lings are coming out here. We do have a gateway coming out here to finish the wall off. I'm guessing it's a fake one. There it is. It goes down, and as soon as this gateway is finished, he's going to put up the cyber core here in its stead and leave the probe on the outside so that he can use it to scout. Curious to see, he does see the Zerglings poking away at that wall, so we're going to see perhaps a cannon come down out here, and there it is. And it looks like Squirtle is going to be able to handle this rather easily, but his scouting probe is going to get picked at by those Zerglings and probably go down before it gets close. This Queen going to meet it at the top of the ramp and going to give it a smack, although it's not quite dead yet. I don't think he saw much of anything over here, but there wasn't much to see that he hadn't already seen. These Zerglings, about halfway done now, going to get scared away by that cannon, but done quite a bit of damage to those destructible rocks. More Zerglings out in force for Moon. The expansion has popped and is getting its first drone, and the transfer is in effect. Layer going up, we should be seeing a second extractor go down as well in just a moment. Wonder what we're going to see here from Moon. I'm guessing on Scrap Station, because of the close distances, I'd like to see, particularly since Squirtle has done the Forge Fast expand and is going to be late getting out a ton of units, it would be interesting for me to see Moon go fast mutas and take advantage of that close distance, since the layer is nearly finished now. and he does have both gases up and a third gas and fourth gas going down at the expansion. So he is going to be looking to pile on the gas, and so probably going to see a Spire go down as soon as he has the money for it. There it goes. Is it at the expansion? Yep, there it is. And we have the Stargate and the first Void Ray out, much like last time. A second Stargate down for Squirtle, as the Void Ray is going to chase down and poke at those Zerglings. But I'm guessing we're going to see probably Phoenix, because they are a very good counter to Mutalisks. However, that being said, I'm not sure. I mean, I guess Squirtle has to be anticipating Mutaplay, frankly, because that's all we see pretty much at every level, particularly pro level, when we see Mutaling and Baneling. I guess ZVT, and against Protoss we see mostly Roach Hydra. But again, with these close positions and the potential, first of all, the absolute nakedness of this main base is just so tempting for early Muta push as fast as possible. Phoenix has flown by. Phoenix has very likely seen this. Yep, has seen that Spire and has seen all of the tech of Moon, and so these Phoenix are going to come in very handily, and he's getting quite a bit. So, and as you know, since the last patch, Phoenix have become a very prominent piece in the Protoss army with that Graviton ability and their strength, particularly against Mutas. Against Corruptors, however, Phoenix are not very good at all, and they can get taken down because of the very high health of the Corruptor and the relatively small health. Although, I don't know, Phoenix, it's the DPS of the Corruptor is much higher than the Corruptors do 14 damage versus well, let's see, versus the 5 damage that Phoenixes do against a Corruptor. Mutas are considered light, and so they do 10 damage against Mutas, and so they are very able to very quickly take down Mutalisk armies. But against Corruptors, it is not the same story. So we are going to see more gateways go down for Squirtle. We're going to see likely a very heavy Stalker army, and that is going to... Oh wow, we see double expansion down for Moon. It's third and getting a sneaky fourth at the gold. But because of... Oh, we do have to see the Corruptors coming in. These Phoenix do outnumber the Corruptors, and so he is going to be able to take them down. How many... He is microing his Phoenixes, microing away the damaged ones, and so he is going to be able to win this engagement very soundly. And this is, I think, going to force... Yep, exactly. Moon's going to have to go heavy Hydras to counteract the Phoenix and inevitable Stalker push that's going to come from Squirtle. We have Zelts coming out, continuing to break down the rocks that Moon was trying to break down earlier. I'm surprised we're not seeing more Stalkers from Squirtle, but now that the Corruptors seem to have been taken off the field, he probably doesn't need to go Stalkers. But now it's going to be problematic. He is going to be able to do lots of harass like this. Lots of fun. It's one of the most fun things. Phoenix is one of the most fun units to use because of that Graviton and because they shoot no matter what, whether you want them to or not. So as you fly by any enemy units in the air, the Phoenix are going to shoot them. So it may look like you're doing some pretty incredible micro, but all you have to do is move click and they will shoot anything they pass by. And if you have enough of them, they're really, really effective in doing that, which is taking down Overlords. Always something, particularly against Zerg, that you want to take full advantage of. You're going to cause the Zerg player to kind of gather forces around their overlords to protect their food counts. And now Squirtle knows about this gold expansion. Is going to be able to move out, getting a nice force, a nice ground force. A few sentries, perhaps like to see a few more sentries for force field. Colossus are out. More overlords getting taken down, trying to scout out what's going on in Squirtle's base. And now it looks as though it is, oh, it's pretty even on food. In fact, Moon has a slight advantage food-wise, and a considerable, well, just about nine drones, but not anymore. Those phoenixes are taking down the drone advantage that Moon has, killing the queen as well. Just so effective at harass. We like to, for so long, we've talked only about mutalisks in air harass, but now with the recent buff to the Phoenix build time, they have become equally daunting a force. If you're able to control them, keep your eye on them. It does require multitasking, a lot of multitasking, and of course, one way to protect yourself against them is the Hydralisk, whose DPS is just absolutely sick, but not even going to try and protect this base at all. Just going to sack it and leave one zealot behind to finish the job, and down it goes. It looks as though Moon is trying to set up several attack paths so that he can pick and choose his way to attack Squirtle's base, perhaps even splitting up his what is becoming a very large army, keeping his overlords in this fogged area so that he can protect them, and perhaps can keep them out of Squirtle's vision. But one flyby and he's going to be hurting for food, that's for sure. More creep tumor spreading well into Squirtle's base now, as see a lot of overlords moving out. It looks like this is going to be a one-time super push by Moon. He's going to try and use the overlords perhaps as cover for the rest of his units. Both players are at max or about to be max. Squirtle is nearly at max, but not a lot of. Only 3 Colossus in the field. Oh, we do have a 4th Colossus coming, joining the fray. And so here is the engagement. Colossus taking down the Zerglings as they attack. Phoenix falling quickly to some Corruptors, getting the corruption ability out on them and taking that 20% extra damage. Corruptors are the only ones engaging at this point now that the Zerglings are dead. We're going to see splitting off some Hydras, perhaps looking for a flank to go around the other side, which is not a bad idea. That's what you want to do. As Zerg, corruption going out on those Phoenix, taking that extra 20% damage. More Colossus coming. That's 5 entering the battle now. We are getting hallucination now for Squirtle, and here comes the big attack. Hallucination not going to be finished. They're not going to be able to. Oh, it did finish. He can hallucinate if he so chooses. But he is not going to, but he is going to be able to push back this ground force of Corruptors, taking out all the Colossus, but there are so many Stalkers at this point, they're going to be able to hold off those, now that those well, they're not dead, they just got all bunched up. We're looking at the army. Moon is food blocked. He did lose several Overlords in that fight, but it looks like Squirtle took most of the damage, losing about 40 food as opposed to 20 food lost by Moon. And of course, as Zerg, Moon is going to be able to very quickly re-up his food count. Very good observer placement out ahead, being able to see the army movements. Moon taking down these destructible rocks, looking to get a 4th and a 5th base apparently, because he has re-expanded to the high yield. Squirtle just mass stalkers right now, almost maxed with only stalkers, which could be problematic he's going to have to remax his army with only Colossus if he wants to be effective. Oh, here's the engagement. Stalkers coming in. Roaches getting taken out. Hydras from the back doing sick DPS, but there is just so many Stalkers, and Squirtle using the Blink Micro to get out of the way. Getting a concave. These Corruptors can do absolutely nothing. Another example of Zerg overcompensating for Colossus, getting too many Corruptors and basically wasting food in the army. And now Squirtle can attack and take down these units without at all focusing on the air units and just focus on the ground. And Lee almost be smart not to try and kill the Corruptors, so Moon's food cannot get up too high. These Stalkers are, even though Hydras are so good against Stalkers, there's just too much of an overwhelming force, and these Stalkers are going to do the job, and Squirtle takes game 2. GG from Moon. And everyone is leaving the game, and so shall we. Game 3 coming up in just a moment. Be right back.